Greetings, good people. I hope you had a great Father's Day weekend. I hope it was safe. And to the fathers out there, happy Father's Day, belated Father's Day. I had a great weekend myself. Well, that was until I was reminded that the leader of the free world is actually former Vice President Joe Biden. Yeah, so apparently Barack Obama had to grab Joe Biden by the wrist and escort him off stage. And this wasn't the first time it happened. It's just happened more and more recently. And a lot of people are really concerned. I was concerned, but I already knew that his brain was mush anyway before all this happened. But when Corinne Jean Pierre tries to explain this, she she really has me convinced that she's actually dumb. It's not dumb because she's a liar. It is she's just dumb because she's dumb.
The video you
Sure.
were talking about.
Yeah.
There were two instances in recent days where leaders, former President Obama and Georgia Maloney of Italy, they physically put hands on the president to guide him and show him, give stage directions. Are they doing that on their own, or has anybody asked them to
Look,
run the show like that?
first of all, let me spoke to the most recent, right? And as we saw on Saturday, President Obama's office put out a statement. So I would refer you to that statement about what was being accused in those by others. And he said this did not happen in the sense of what people were saying they were seeing, right? Or what was being falsely reported that they were seeing. Let's not forget, President Obama, President Biden have a relationship. They are friends. They're like family to each other. And I think that's what you saw. You saw the president put his hand on the back of President Biden, and they walked off the stage after taking questions or at an event taking questions from Jimmy Kimmel. That is what you saw. But I would refer you to President Obama's office statement. They talked about this, they discussed this, and they came out with it pretty quickly.
Maloney,
All right.
you wanted to say something about
Maloney, I don't have anything. I don't know specifically what happened with Maloney.
the wandering, the parachutist,
Oh,
etc.?
I mean, look, that was, as I said, it was a cheap, a cheap fake. That was definitely a cheap fake. It was. This was widely fact-checked. That video was widely fact-checked, including by conservative media, on what happened, what occurred. The president walked over to give a thumbs up to divers who had just landed right in front of him. And if you run that tape a little bit longer, you would see what was happening, what the president was actually doing, and it is a cheap fake.
So this
That is
nothing
what
about nothing, and he's totally normal.
what I'm saying is this is a president, right? Let's step back for a second. Instead of, and I said this moments ago, instead of Republicans, focusing on the president's performance in office and what he's been able to accomplish, his actual record, they do these cheap fakes. They're cheap fakes. And you're asking me about the Maloney, you're asking me what happened. That video was, okay, let's talk about Juneteenth.
Well, there you have it. Do not believe your own lying eyes. Believe KJP because we already know that she's telling the truth. Stupid liar. Like, she even made up a term, cheap fakes. I heard of deep fakes, but she just makes up stuff. And you want to know why she makes up stuff? It's because she is not a smart lady. I don't have a problem with the press secretary lying because the previous one, she was pretty good at her job and she was a massive liar. But Corinne Jean Pierre just makes you sit there like, bro, I'm an adult. I'm an adult. I see what I see. I saw it with my face, like my own eyes. But apparently you're supposed to believe the government and the media and not your own eyes and own skills for discernment. But it's true, the American people are worried about this, and it's being seen more and more each and every day. I don't know how he's going to handle these debates, but former Vice President Joe Biden really needs to go sit down somewhere and enjoy his family. But this is actually not what I wanted to talk about. I want to talk about what Congress is doing because apparently they're gearing up for World War III, and this administration and the lawmakers really, really need cannon fodder.
The women have never been required to register for the draft, but that could soon change thanks to lawmakers on Capitol Hill. Mike Emanuel live in Washington with more. Hi, Mike.
Martha, good morning. The Senate version of the National Defense Authorization Act, which sets out military and national security priorities, would require women to register for selective service. Missouri Republican Senator Josh Hawley is not a fan, writing on X, quote, "I'm not voting for any defense bill that forces my daughter to register for the draft. Not now, not ever." And he's not alone. Texas Republican Congressman Chip Roy also reacting on X, quote, "You can go straight to hell over my dead body." The argument for women being a part of the draft comes from experts such as the National Commission on Military, National, and Public Service. It concludes, quote, "This is a necessary and fair step, making it possible to draw on the talent of a unified nation in a time of national emergency." Now, there are two different versions of this bill, one in the House, one in the Senate, so it's possible women in the draft could get dropped as lawmakers iron out the differences.
So feminists, how are we liking equality now? Me personally, I think this should have been happening because, if you want to vote, you have to have some type of civic duty under your belt and sign up for the selective service. Men do it. Women should be able to do the same thing since we're all equal. But honestly, this is a clear sign that these people really do want war, because when you say that we're actually thinking about drafting women, yeah, that means you don't even care about the future of your country. Look at what Ukraine is doing. Ukraine, after running out of young men to get shot at, they decided to start drafting women and old people. So, yeah, I think they're trying to destroy America. Go figure. Let me know in the comment section down below. Do you think Joe Biden's brain is breaking, or do you think he's perfectly fine and healthy? And also, what do you think about women being able to get drafted if this law passes? It's probably the worst thing that we've ever done as a country, because we're actually just saying that we don't really care about reproduction anymore, and we really, really need this world war. And also, do you think that we're actually going into a World War III, or do you think that's just people trying to fearmonger and stuff? That's all I have for you today. I'm your host, TJ Evans, with another installment of the TJ Evans Show. Y'all remember, y'all do your own research. Don't take my word for gold. Y'all stay safe out there. Do the YouTube and Rumble thing. Subscribe to the Royal Family Studios channel. Y'all stay safe. Stay prayed up. Peace.